Hey, how you guys doing? Alright, let's do it to it. D4, E6, E4, D5. The French defense. Oops. Sorry, French defense. Knight D2. This goes into the Tarrasch variation. And then C3, C5, Bishop D3. This is one of the most common lines. Knight C6 is actually the basic line here. This is if you wanted to do the universal system, this is more the universal system. C takes D. Remember, we always take F6. C. Knight takes. This is a line that he talked about that you gotta be careful when you do this because you let out this here. When they get a bind like this, you gotta be careful when he plays here. You play there. He plays here. King E7. E takes F. Knight takes F and knight there. And you'd have to take here and queen takes the rook. King F7. Castles. And then E5. Black's actually doing pretty good here. He's disintegrated the center. And he's preparing for an attack. So like B takes, pawn takes, and so he has these weakened structure here. And then he's gonna basically play at the right moment E4 and get a bind over the dark and light squares. Bishop there, takes, takes. And now he's gonna play against these weak pawns. You'd kind of think that he would want to double up kind of and start to attack here. Pardon me. Our bishop here and then trying to trade off and go towards more of a pardon me, a rook versus bishop endgame. Queen h3, g6, b3 to attack the bishop. He retreats back. Queen b3. Queen comes up, and then if he takes, now because the center is locked for black and he has a huge pawn chain like that, knights are really powerful to get the pieces going. So see, bishop takes, pawn takes. I mean, he would have been better off to have tried. I don't think if he had taken here though. I think he would have taken with the queen so that he could have kept his integrity of his pawn structure together, and that would probably be better. Then he can get this passer going up the board via here, here, and up. Then he has this massive chain. D takes. So he's up 2 pawns now. E7, and funny thing is, black's actually winning here. It looks like, what? Are you serious? Yes, I am. Black's actually winning here. And that was the idea based on pushing here to get that pawn chain going. So it's based all on the back rank. And then b3. And this wins on the spot because now you're taking scope on the weakness. And if he plays here, you actually get to pick up a rook, and he can't take because of here. I'm probably thinking potentially there would be better. Yeah. Because he's still winning with this line though. And then it comes up and you start the attack. So he has to actually retreat out. Yeah. It's pretty it was pretty interesting how he blundered this though. That was a blunder. And you take and rook takes, and this would have been and this knight covers here. I'm looking at king d1. King d1. If rook b2, then we have rook b7, check, and king c4, rook takes b2. I'm thinking rook d7. So rook d7. If king c4, Rook takes c2. I mean, not rook c2. Rook rook c7 check. King b3. Rook takes c2. Then pawn takes c2, so that's not. So rook d7, king c4, rook check, king b3, rook takes c2, pawn takes c2 check, king c1. Yeah, I'm thinking this is it. Queen takes g3, check, rook g2, queen h2 check, king f2, rook takes, or queen takes check. Let's make sure that we have this right. So here, 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 here. There we go. Okay. There's queen takes c3 or b takes c3. Let's see, queen takes c3, queen a2 check, king c1, queen a1 check, king d2, rook d8 check, bishop takes d8, rook takes d8 check, king e1, queen takes d1 check. So let's see now, let's try b takes c3. B takes c3, a queen a1 or a2 check, king c1, queen a1 check, king d2. If rook d8 check, rook d8, bishop takes d8, and we actually hold in that line. Yeah, I like pawn takes. Well, don't tell me it's... Queen c3 check, queen b3, queen takes b4 mate. Gotta make sure I'm looking at this right. Let me see, there. Yep. Okay. Bishop b4 check. Of course, if king d1, we have queen d2 mate. So bishop b4 check. If king f1, You have bishop, h3, check, rook, g2, and then queen takes g2 mate. Let's see here. If I check with my queen on d4, if king h1, yeah, I like the check to start out with. Okay. Bishop g4 looks interesting. See if we play bishop g4. If queen takes g4, we have queen takes f4 check. Yeah, I'm liking. See if we take bishop takes queen, rook takes, and then queen takes e4. I believe that's right. Let me see. Oh, so you net that. I was thinking this to keep the pin on rook f. You could actually just grab the knight in the corner at that point. And then just say, you know what? I'm good to go. No more knight issues. Nothing. Or you could go for h3 is interesting too. Rook fc1. Rook d1. g3. Queen d2. Rook takes. Rook takes. Rook takes. And that's mate. Okay. queen a1 check, king c2, and then knight b4. So if we queen a1 check, if king c2, then knight b4 is mate. So if queen a1 check, knight b1, then we have c3 that could actually be played at that point. c3, and we're winning. Okay, let's go for it. Wow, he's one move away from checkmating us. Actually, it's not one move away. What am I talking about? How do I want to finish this off? Do I take c takes b2, double check, king d2? Then I can check with my, well, I can't check with my thing then. Boy, I'm trying to really figure this out here. C takes b2, check, king would have to go to d2. So that would be that line. Let's see. Queen takes b2. Queen takes b2. B takes c2. King takes c2. And then knight takes e3. There's also one more. Well, actually, it's threatening mate 2. So we don't really have time to mess around because his threat is rook takes, g2 check, king takes, and then the queen comes down after that. So we don't really have time. I'm thinking that queen takes b2 is forced at this point because his threat is this: rook takes g7 check, king takes g7, and then queen to h7 is mate. This is his threat. I'm thinking that if we if we actually play queen takes b2 check, queen, I like this line here. Oops, this line right here, and we end up winning. This one right here. This is the winning line. because he has to take back, then we take. When the king takes, we actually pick up a piece in that line. Yeah. You have to get rid of the queen. You don't have time for the other lines, because if we are too slow, like this line here, I'll show you. If we took here, he has king d2, and we really don't have enough counterplay for anything. And if we tried pushing, he has this checkmating idea. So the only move that pulls off the queen for that threat is this move. Yes, we lose a pawn, but we get a piece in response, and we're attacking here, even if he was to potentially double up. We have rook c2, excuse me, rook c2, and we're doing adequately okay. We still have a pass pawn, and we're up a whole piece, so we're good to go. Why doesn't queen takes this work here? Because king takes, and if we play here, king a2, and there's really not enough. There's not enough time. See, he's still threatening this move, this, and then down here. So it still hasn't gotten rid of the same problem. If we try c3 takes there, there's nothing really we can do at this point. We could try checking. c4, we take. King a3. All he has to do is avoid checks. And then he'll just take here, and he still has this line and here. So the only way to actually have one is to trade queens, because then it pulls this queen off. When king takes, then you can snap that and you're good to go, and removes this queen that was here. Yeah. Okay. Let's see, what do we have to do here? Let's see, what do we got to work with here? Let's see, bishop g5, queen takes g3, knight takes e7, rook takes e7, and then h takes g3. Oh, we have a winning mating idea. Queen h3. Queen h3 threatens mate. Queen h3 threatens mate on h8, and the knight on d7. Oh. No? Oh, okay. I wonder why the other one didn't work. I'm curious about that. Because doesn't that threaten, oh, the queen, that sneaky queen. I didn't see that it could do that. Here, it could take there. See, if we played here, the queen could actually take there. But we did have it right with a fork. We did have it right. So here, rook takes. We do have a fork. Drat. I was looking at the scope on here when we had our knight. I was looking at here and here. But I missed that he could actually take there on G6. Sorry about that, guys. That was my fault there. We'll get it back. We'll get it back. Let's see, knight. Knight F. Knight F3. Queen D8. Knight takes D4. Bishop takes D4. Oh, wait a second. Am I seeing what I'm seeing? Is there actually a bishop hanging here? Queen takes F6. Queen takes F6. Queen takes F6. Rook takes G2. And then Queen E5. E5 check. Queen takes E5. Rook takes E5. Huh. Going with it. Ah. Why doesn't the other... I think we've done this one before, darn it. I kind of vaguely remember this. And I think the reason this fails is because after takes, he can actually win a rook here and we don't have a passer. Drat. Not again. It's doing so good, I should have calculated the other line out a little better. I'll do that next time. We got to slow down now. Bishop f1, check. Bishop f1, check. If king, bishop f1 is, oh, you really? I'm puzzled at that. Oh, drat, I forgot we weren't lined up there. That was my fault again. Ugh. 3 bad marks. No. Not good. Ugh. Okay. Let's do this thing. Knight takes e2, check. If king, if king f1, okay, knight takes e2 check, king f1, queen takes c6, rook takes c6, knight takes f4. If g takes f4, then g takes h5 and bishop takes h5. If knight takes e2, if bishop takes e2, we play queen takes c6, rook takes c6, and then g takes h5. Knight c2, check. If king b3, c7. We have to turn into a bishop, not a rook or a queen, otherwise it's stalemate. So we'd have to turn it into a bishop here. Or do I have anything else that I could... Let's see, two knights don't mate, so it has to be a bishop. Let's see here. We'll check that out after this. Queen takes f7, check. King d8, bishop e6, and then queen e8. Actually, better is queen takes f7, check. King e8, and then queen to f6, and that picks up a rook in the corner. Or yeah, it picks up a rook in the corner because the bishop is attacking all the squares. Yep. We win a bishop here. Okay, let's go back. You were wondering why bishop, knight b4 doesn't work. Because it's a check. It's you can't because there's a check. He would take and it would be check. So the only way to do it is a bishop. There we go. Well, we got it solved, and that's what matters. Let's see here. Queen takes f3. If castle, king side, we have queen takes d5. Hey, how you doing? Yep, let's grab it. Okay. If we play bishop takes d5, if knight takes d5, you have rook takes e5 check. Queen takes, rook takes, and you pick up a piece. There you go. Hmm. Yeah. Well, it's mainly combinations that you have to siphon through. Or not siphon through, work through. Let me see here. C C4. Only move is king C5. Well, okay, C4, king C5, king C3. That's kind of the idea, and then kind of wondering where he's gonna go. Maybe he'll push and attack our rook. But I'm thinking we mate after that. We checkmate after that. Yeah, we do. Okay, let's put this line back in here again. We're going to say that he pushes and attacks our rook. So we're going to say F5 here. Oh no, he's attacking our rook. Oh, too bad. B4 is mate. There's no way to get out of the checkmating idea after that. It's all over. C4. So I'll show you the idea. It's so cool. Here, here, here. If he goes, oh no, and then you go, yeah, checkmate. Hate being checkmated with a pawn, but love doing it when you win. Okay. Let's see. Rook takes f4. If rook takes f4, then g5 forks the rook. Let's see. Rook takes f4, check. If rook takes f4, then g5, check. King g4, and then g takes f4, but I don't think that's right. Ooh, nice, even better. I like your idea better. Much nicer. Much nicer. Yeah, I like that. Nice find there. I like that idea much better. Oh, we'll go back over that in just a second. Let me see here. Yeah. I'm now looking at rook a to e1. Well, I'm thinking about that. Let me see, rook a1. What do you think, Erie? Rook a1? There's rook a1. If queen takes e1, rook takes e1, check. Gets out of the pin. Knight c4 doesn't work because queen takes G3, rook check, knight, and then she comes back, and then I have to take with the knight, so that wouldn't work to my plan. Let's give her a try here. Why is that? Well, the reason this one, we'll go over this one, and then we'll go back over the other one. Well, I think we already answered that one, but we'll just go over it real quick. This, see, if we played here, I think this loses to castles, because after here, he's now forking these two pieces, so the only way to avoid the fork after castles, now that the bishop takes, queen a3 is playable. No more fork. Okay, and we'll go over this one real quick. That's the whole point of improving. He made a mistake there. Here, and then if you take here, you get checkmated, because the king guards here, pawn guards there, and then you're checked. So that's why this wins on the spot. Okay, and onward and upward, on to our next one. If we, I'm looking at f5. f5. If queen d4, then we have bishop f6. f5, queen d4, and then bishop f6, and we're winning in that line. What do you guys think about that? And if like f5, if queen h4, if queen h4 can't happen, so his only move to hold on to his bishop would be queen d4, and then at that point he's trapped. He'll have to run. He'll have to grab the pawn. After bishop f6, he'll have to go queen takes a7, and that's the only way to. And then we would play knight takes d3, knight takes d3, check. So this would basically be the line right here. I'll connect them all up. Paste. And then paste, and now separate them. That's the whole line. What you think? Wow, he's on the verge of checkmating us. Eee. Not liking that. I'm not liking that look of it. Yikesers. Let's see, what do we got in our back pocket here? Hmm. Trying to visualize a line here is taking me a second. So if I'm quiet, it's not that I'm not recognizing that you're all here. It's just I have to find the proper move sequence because we were probably entering into the 2700 level club, and you have to have all your lines right on cue. Okay, I think I got a line here. I'm gonna give it a go and see what you all think about it. C6 check. If king takes c6, we have bishop takes b5, but that doesn't start with check, and he had made us, so that's not a plausible move sequence. So maybe c6 isn't the line. Maybe c6 is so. c6, king takes c6. If I play rotates a6, rotates a6. Don't really see anything after that. If queen b2, maybe it's queen b2. That covers all the squares and still keeps the maybe it's queen a2. Maybe that's what we're looking at. Huh. See, they're all, but our opponent is threatening queen takes g2 mate, so they're one move away from mate. So everything has to be totally forcing. Actually, that does. Let me see here. Let me continue that line. Rook takes b5, check. A takes b5, c6. King can't take. c6 check. The king can't take that. Because if he does, we take with check, and basically he'll get buzzsawed in half, and we don't want that. We don't want that. That would not be, he wouldn't want to do that. So we have to now predict what potentially could our opponent play. They can't go on the dark squares, because any dark square would allow a check for us. So rook takes b5, a takes b5, c. Okay, we'll solve this one here. So he can't really go on any dark squares, but if he goes on a light square, he's terminated at that point. Because we can take with our queen. Oh boy, boy. So I'm not sure if that's right either, because if we take this line to fruition, let's take this line a little further. If king b8, if we play bishop, well maybe bishop e5 check, king would come. King would have to run, so he can't do that. So king b8's bad. So king b8, bishop e5 check. If king goes to c7, which he can't go to c7, king c8, queen takes a8 check. So if we put in that line again, let's say that he comes up. So we'll say he goes king. Well, if he comes up, he loses. Okay, so your line is winning. Your line is a winning line. First of all, you'd have to play bishop d4 check. King would have to go to c7. And he's still threatening mate, so we got to be careful. King c7, bishop e5, bishop e5, check. King would have to go to b6 again. Bishop takes f4. Queen takes f4, and then rook queen takes a8. Well, I'll show you the whole line outright so that you can we can see the entire line. That line was spot on. If he takes here, we pick up the rook and it's all over. So we've won a piece. So takes here, here he comes over. If he comes there, then what happens? He comes down and we pick this off. So that loses. Then we win a rook. So end of line there. So at this point he played here. First of all, you check, comes up, check, comes back down. You take here. If queen takes, rook takes. Oh snap! What did I miss then? Oh, so it's a draw. This would still be a draw here, because the only way that he can make progress would be here and back. So it's still, oh, it's a draw. Boy, I thought that was winning. Looked so winning, but it's a draw. Go figure. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Take a look at your game. Take a quick reprieve. C6. Yep, Caro-Kann. D takes E4. Well, you know what? As long as we can learn something from it. Castles. Okay, so takes. Well, you probably wouldn't want to play there. Probably want to play here. And if he pushes onward, so at this point, he'd probably take. And then he can't push, so he'd have to support it there. And then now you're attacking here, he'd have to support there. So potentially we can play back here and then drop our knight and go after there. Takes. You could take here, pawn takes here. And then at this point, castle, and after rook takes, oops. That was a mouse slip on my part, sorry about that. That was a big time mouse slip. And you're still doing rather well here. You can play like that, and then take scope there. And then you come here. Let's see, still good so far. He's trying to basically stomp you into submission with this move on d5. I believe this potentially could have been played, and if he tries that, you have this here, and you're up a whole pawn and you've survived. Did you look at this line here? Did you think about rook d4 or d5 right here? Oh, you did rook d5. Oh, you did. Oh, nice play. Oh, so you did play. Good job. That solves this whole problem, so he can't go there. Okay. So queen d2 to basically hold on now. Let's see here. What could we play at this point? It's got three pieces attacking. I think we may be overextended at this point. Probably here you'd have to play bishop takes, pawn takes to double up rooks. And then if he tries that, you can just push onward, grab a pawn, and then try to kind of play something similar to this line here, maybe. With oops, wrong mouse slip. My bad there. Sorry. Sometimes my mouse slips a little bit. Let me see. You can take here if pawn takes. Trying to see if we can't get a way through here. Boy, this one was a tough one. Maybe e5, rook slides over here, and then in via that way, but I don't know. There's also potentially you can retreat queen d. If he plays there, you play here, If he takes, you're kinda not very happy in that line. So there is this line, but I don't know if it actually does anything. If he plays here. Then you have d5. That holds, and if he tries something like that, he might try something like that. But then you have bishop there, and if he takes here, there, and there, so that would be a pain in the drain. So at this point, you might have to play queen there. I think it's the only move that you can play, though. Let's see here. If he goes through there. Let's see, I just want to see what the engine kind of says. So takes, takes. So it's equal. This kind of reminds me of a Magnus Carlsen Fabi type of game. In this type of a squeeze here, Magnus kind of did this to Fabi, and it was before they played again in the London tournament. It was at the Grand Tour when he was a wild card in St. Louis, and Fabi survived. It's about equal. So, oops, hold on. Takes. Better. Well, bishop e5, can he just take you here? Bishop e5, doesn't he just take you? Well, yeah, you can, and then you're down a whole piece at that point. See, he can actually take you here. E5, he could just take you. Oh, I gotcha. I got you right here. Okay, my bad. Yeah, he can't take you here. Yeah, sorry, wrong position, wrong move sequence, wrong move spot. Knew there was something wrong. Yeah, he can't take here. This is actually a better move, much better. And yeah, knight f4 can't be played here now. That's the reason that this move's bad, is the knight f4 move. attacks your rook. But if the bishop was here, it would have guarded that. Every move has a drawback. Wow. I was surprised your opponent didn't find that move. That's actually winning on the spot. This here would be totally owning on the spot, because then you can take this pawn here and fork these two. Yeah, that's a devastator. I thought you only get 2 minutes with if they do that. If they move, I thought it's only 2 minutes. That's what the arbiter taught me. That's okay. And I think in FIDE, if I'm not mistaken, it is a loss, but I'm not sure in the USCF. I haven't studied FIDE in a while. I've studied more USCF because of a lot of the tournaments are USCF. I like that's fun to play in. Some FIDE tournaments are good to play in too. But FIDE has different rules than USCF. I see. You're still winning here, so there was no problem. If he played here, you're still winning. His knight's totally offside. There's really nothing that he can do. You're still winning. So I still play as black here. I like black's position. I'd probably play more e5 and then after takes. I've gotten rid of my weakness. And now my bishop is activated. And we're ready to roll here. Yeah, you got rid of your isolated pawn, and now because it's pawns are on both sides of the board, you can use this bishop ends up becoming very powerful. If these two pawns were gone though, then this knight would be more valuable. So if these pawns were gone, this knight would be more valuable than this bishop, because the pawns then are on just one side of the board. But hey, it was an interesting game, truly, with that at that one position. Oh, do you have a game? So 2018, you got a game? I want to see what the engine says is the best. Oh, rook. This isn't the best. They're saying if you push. He straddles you with an isolated pawn. Oh, okay. Then we'll get back to our puzzles and start working on and improving our puzzle knowledge. We'll do one. I think I'll do either one or two more. We'll see how much time we have. Yeah. Yeah, because it does have slight Stockfish 10. The engine is actually a better one offline if you wanted to use it. So let's see here. What do we got? What do we got? Um, hmm. Trying to figure out how I can. We have two pins going here. I'm. How do we take advantage of both? Let's see. I guess we could. Rook B1. I actually like Rook C1. Rook C1 with the idea of playing. Then we can play D7 and oh, not D7. Sorry, Rook D1. Then Queen takes C8. And then after Queen takes C8, we can play Bishop takes D5 check. What do you guys think? I'm thinking Rook C1, and if King, we'll say H7, we can play Bishop takes Bishop takes D5. If Rook takes D5, we can play Rook takes C8. Rook takes C8. But I'm thinking about that. I'm not exactly sure if that's 100% on. And then if he gets a little greedy and wants to munch on a pawn, let's say rook takes d6. Let's say munches. You have rook h8 check, king g6, and then queen e8 is mate. So I'll put that whole line together. This is the whole line. Right here. Let's go with it. Huh. What was I missing? So taking here, and then rook takes, and that wins. Okay. Because then rook takes, if king comes up, it's mate 2 at that point. Yeah. Had the right idea, but wrong move order. We'll do one more. Let's get this one down and out. We got it. Okay. So bishop takes b6. If bishop takes e1, queen takes c8. King g7. Bishop d4, check, f6, queen to c7, queen c7, and then rook takes e1. I don't understand. No bishop takes. I think his bishop's on e1. His bishop's on e1. We can check. There is a check there, isn't there? Interesting. I didn't even think about the check. Nice look there, economy. So bishop h6 check. Bishop, well, let's just say king g 8. So g8. Then we can actually play queen takes c8 check. Yeah, that gets mated. So I'm not sure what'll happen after this though. Let's see. What if he plays f6? That's the only sitch we got. Oh, I guess we could take, couldn't we? Well, okay. Will do. Whoops, hold on. f6, queen takes f6, and then rook c7. Rook c7, but then we got, what happens after rook c7? I think we win the rook, don't we? No? No. We could actually check at that point. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I think you're right on this. We got another check on Oh wow, that does kick it, doesn't it, to the next level? I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we'll stop on that. You wanted me to look at this line, and then we'll call it great work, economy. Great work as a team. Nice job. Nice job. That's the line right there. Oh, bishop a1. Okay. Okay. I thought you meant e1. Yeah, bishop e1. This right here is a draw. You can't play here. You'd lose a piece. That loses a piece, so you can't do that. I want to work this all the way out. This is a very interesting puzzle. So e2, rook takes, rook c1, rook takes, f6, bishop takes, king g1, takes. There you go. Yep. Do you have any other lines you would like to work on before we log off? On here? Nope. Hey, okay. Then I will say adieu. Well, guys, I wanted to thank you for all logging on. We're doing really good. We're kicking it up a notch, and we have to remember that life is about treasuring your victories and learning from your losses. That's the thing that a chess player has to go through. Remember that mistakes don't define you. It's how you handle the mistakes that define you as a chess player. And there are no limits. Bruce Lee said there are plateaus, and you must not stay there. You must go beyond the plateau. And like I always, I'm gonna do a refresher. This was a quote that I thought I was thinking of. We talked about it a little bit ago. Don't give up, get up. That's a quote from me. Don't give up, get up. If you fall down, you have to knuckle down and get right back up. Because it's not where you start, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Many kings have started out good, Solomon, but they ended up bad. They ended up, their life at the end was worse than their beginning. David's start, he was older when he took the throne, but even though throughout his life he did some not good things, he was able to follow what the Lord wanted him to do, and he was a man after God's own heart. That's what he says, the Lord's heart. And that's what we should be. We should be people after the heart of the Lord. And we shouldn't let I know I talk about the grounds all the time. There's 4 types of grounds. There's the wayward, there's the rocky ground, there's the thorny ground, and then there's the good ground. The ground that pulls a lot of chess players from playing chess is the ground of the weedy ground. I call it the weedy ground because things in your life start biting up time. Like you rather than study, you'll do something over here, and then one day will go by and you haven't studied, or you haven't done this, and you should have just done a couple tactics. And that, you know what, it's not easy to, I understand, juggle a lot life, but if you want to get better as a chess player, you have to, every day is a accomplishment. And in working out in a gym, you sometimes you have to work on your upper body, then you have to work on your legs, and then you sometimes have to stretch, then you have to do cardio, and you have to do it all in a sequence. But you can't give up one day, because if you give up one day, then what will happen is you'll start backsliding, and you'll start losing all the progress that you priorly put into it, and you don't want to do that. And we also have to make sure that we're not like the Rocky Ground, that we get a lot high rating, and then all of a sudden we plateau out, and then we give up because we don't see any more progress, fast progress. That's not how you get better, my friends. Trust me. Things happen, your rating goes up, your rating goes down, but if you stick to it and you follow the principles, and you continue down the path the Lord has for you in whatever field you're in, He'll direct your path, trust me. And what we always have to do is remember, He's in control, and that's what matters. And we should be glad that we aren't, because a lot of the things that we would do would end up being really bad. And so He has the best interest for us as a people. We also have to remember, we hang up our coat, we hang up our hat, we sit down and study when most won't. We do, and that makes all the difference. And as Wesley So says, through the Lord Jesus, as I say, God bless. I'll see you guys next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening, and Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow. And we'll keep pushing forward and improving in our tactics. Congratulations on, again, crossing the 2400 level marker. We're going to continue to keep going up and improving. And our road maps, our road in our mind is getting stronger. And every day is an accomplishment. So just keep that in mind every day. Go Team Chess Cruncher. Hoorah, be blessed, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.